We're excited to be back. The program is still Today with John and Helen live. And we're making history this weekend with the very first edition of the program in the new year.
And our goal this month is to carefully and strategically put in your hands the tools that you will require to launch out and make a huge impact this year. Everyone desires success. Unfortunately, not all of us get there or achieves it. So, today, Joel Omeike is a sought-after leader, speaker renowned for guiding businesses and individuals to achieve excellence, is with us. He's the Chief Executive Officer and founder, P4PE Institute, which empowers organizations with cutting-edge strategies. I love that. In human resource transformation, organization and development, and AI-driven solutions, fondly known as the HR Godfather. Our guest is a globally recognized HR professional, data scientist, and business growth consultant. Ladies, gentlemen, and all our viewers, let's welcome Joel Omeike to the conversation on building a path to success in the year 2025. Your playbook, you called it. Your playbook. What an honor to have you here with us today. Happy New Year.
Thank you very much.
Welcome.
Thank you. It's an honor to be with you.
I'd like to, apologize
the name. Yes, let's get it right.
for murdering your name.
No. Let me unmother it. Let me unmother it.
Murdering your name so much.
I'm so sorry.
Okay.
It should be
fine.
Omeike.
Omeike.
So it's Omeike.
Omeike. Omeike. Omeike. So the I is silent.
It's hidden somewhere.
Thank you.
Although it's two words together.
Yeah.
Ome and Ike.
Omeike.
So brought together.
Omeike. Okay.
So, well, I can't wait to get that playbook in my hands.
That's
So
good.
thanks for making time to be here with us.
Thank you.
And let's get to it, because
Thank you.
this is serious business.
Very, very important for now.
This is real serious business, Joel.
Okay.
Now, as the HR Godfather, as you're known, what is your vision for corporate governance for the year 2025? And why do you believe now is the time for organizations to rethink their strategies? And I have picked every word carefully.
Okay,
Corporate governance.
so I'll follow you in picking those words. The thing about corporate governance is that whenever we talk about it, it's about compliance. It's about reporting. It's about following certain rules that has been set, right? It's about focusing on the shareholder returns. But in reality today is evolving, it's changing. It is switching towards more of stakeholder value.
And less
of shareholder returns. Shareholder returns is still there. I mean, that's the bottom line at the end of the day, right? However, you still focus on employee contribution. You must focus on the employees, the well-being, the excitement, their engagement, their growth, right? The environment, right? And it's an emerging area, the ESG, as the case is today, ensuring that we pay attention to our environment, we pay attention to issues around the community we play in, as the case is. And it's not just from a compliance point of view, but from a point of view that these things are the things that make us. And as we make progress into the future, right, corporate governance should focus more on helping the people, whether they are your staff, they are your community, your target audience that you're working with, to ensure that they live a life that they really want to live. In turn, corporate returns will be given.
even families of staff.
Exactly.
Should
Interestingly, because they should speak well of the institution you work with at that point in time.
Yes, that makes a lot of sense. Yes. So it's like having a comprehensive overview, and control.
In fact, there's something they refer to as a 3 Ps. People,
Yes.
planet, profit.
People,
Planet, profit. So corporate governance should focus around those three. Make sure you have the right people, they are excited, they want to be there, they feel great.
Yeah.
All right? Then the planet. Ensure the community and the environment you play in is sustainable.
Okay.
and then eventually profit will come once you deal with the first two P's.
Wow.
It's given, as the case is.
The 3 P's.
Yes.
Wow.
Can we apply that to individuals, our own business?
Yeah, well, from a business point of view, yes, but from an individual point of view, you will need to think, you will transcend beyond yourself. Because if you begin to look at the community you play in, what can you contribute personally?
Okay.
Your colleagues, your family, the individuals you engage with regularly, how sustainable are you with the things you use, so to speak, right? Yeah. Then you begin to play in that area. And if all of us do, eventually the whole planet perhaps will be much better.
It's a model that really works.
Yeah, it's been there for a while. Model. Yes.
Yeah.
All right, so what are the key principles or the strategies that you would recommend for individuals and businesses looking to succeed, in 2025?
Everybody looks to succeed.
Well, you think that everybody, yes.
Okay, so if we are looking at success, again, success is relative. It is perspective driven, right? Yeah. So there is need foundationally. First point is to be clear what success looks like. Because if you're clear about what your success will be like, what you want it to be, some of our youth will say in the cliche, I want to blow, right? But there's no problem blowing. The question is...
They are nowhere near Gen Zs because we just...
well, yes, I heard that speaking earlier.
Yeah.
But, I mean, even if you want to blow in what context? Define blow. And for some people, blow is financial. So if it is financial, in what context? As a banker, as an agricultural person, whatever the context you play in, you must be purpose-driven. Clarity. What would it look like when I achieve it?
Yeah.
The second thing will now be you must be given to continuous learning. This year, focus on learning. Unlearn what you used to know, right? Because there are a lot of things that have changed.
Yes.
Right? Then be open for new learning, new things that are coming up, and be reminded of the ones that you used to know you're no longer practicing because of other focus at that point. So if you try these two, be clear, open your mind to learning, and then be agile. You shouldn't be rigid in one direction. If it doesn't work here, change the method, not the goal.
Okay. I like that.
Because sometimes by the time
change the method,
not the goal.
So
because sometimes
focus.
Yes, on the goal.
Yes.
Sometimes we get to March, we get to April, we tear the paper and throw it, and we can't find where we wrote our resolution again. Because the method was frustrating. So change the method, and then you continue running at that point.
Wow. You're a consultant. In fact,
Yes, please.
you're the HR godfather. Okay. Let's look at HR itself.
Okay.
How has it evolved in recent years? And what unique strategies can businesses adopt to ensure HR becomes transformational asset for them in 2025? Because things have, nothing is static.
Same. Yeah, it's true. Interestingly, the HR we used to know is the administrative HR. We usually call them the hire and fire HR, so to speak. In some clients, they are called the police HR, trying to police every staff to ensure they do what they are supposed to do. But HR has changed. HR is more strategic today. So institutions, organizations should focus on how to leverage those change within HR to ensure that HR is a partner, not a tool that they use to enforce policy, not a tool they use to ensure documentation or focus the government or something like that. But they should partner with HR to help them understand the dynamics of the environment they are in. So what kind of workforce will fit very well in that particular environment? Where do we find them? How do we keep them engaged? How do we ensure that they feel excited belonging with us so that we're able to retain them over time? And the new HR today is data-driven. So decisions must be based on some empirical data that has been covered or captured over time. Whether you're capturing the number of times people were late, the number of times people have gone for training, number of times people had gone to the medical center. Each of that, buried in it is some insight that will help you to reconfigure the organization for better results.
Okay. All right. I'm thinking some organizations have had issues with the HR department and the corporate affairs department. Now, you talked about the HR of the old being about hiring and firing, and now it's more about helping the staff, you know, to be better for the organization. Is the function of the HR entirely internal, or is it also, you know, relational and in partnership with others outside of the corporate organization?
First and foremost, HR is internal. First, upfront, right? HR belongs to the institution. However, the organization is not a silo. It exists in a bigger society. And sometimes the people the organization engages with are not just customers. There are other stakeholders they will be involved, they will be engaging with. And some of the things that the organization does by means of those engagements affect decisions about their people internally. So it is very important that HR is part of those engagements. Now, comparing with the activities of corporate affairs department, as the case is, or communication, in some organizations, they're actually together. HR and corporate they kind of work together. There are some institutions where the head of HR is usually called the group head, corporate communications and HR. Just trying to realizing that those two work hand in hand as the case is. So HR is involved because sometimes the message we send there, the message we receive affects our brand, affects our people's perception, and affects whether they are happy being here and what they can do in order to progress at that point in time.
Thank you.
You actually answered a question that I would have loved to ask. Because as you were speaking, I looked at myself as a public image expert, and I see that I wouldn't even able to function properly or wouldn't able to maximize my output without the assistance of HR. And I also like one thing that you have done. You've tried to personify. You've tried to make HR look like a human partner. You know, you've given it life. You know, you've made it look, you know. And I'm sure that we're going to find a lot of what you're talking about in your book.
Absolutely.
Yeah?
Absolutely.
Because your upcoming book, the Fire Your HR, an executive guide to transformation, it promises to be a game changer, you know, so to speak. Can you share a sneak peek into its core message and how it applies to what we're saying?
You know, the book is first controversial. The message itself says, fire your HR, let your HR go. And that's scary.
That's scary.
For the HR community, it's like, hold on, Joel, where are you coming from with this? But for one thing, I spent the first 13 years of my experience working in corporate organizations within the HR department, spent another 14 years consulting for various organizations. And bringing that experience together, I've noticed that sometimes HR can make or mar the progress of an organization. Depending on the extent to which the leadership within the organization sees HR as either a support or a cost center. So the target of that particular book is actually executives and heads of HR to say, look, it is time to look inwards and find how to fix HR in such a way that you work less within the business. Because if you get it right in your people, the business will run automatically on its own. And HR is the lever that you need to ensure you achieve it. Make sure that your HR leads within the organization understand this very well. They are transformative in nature because the environment has changed and it is continuously changing. Whatever you think it was yesterday, this year is going to be good, it's going to be worse in various perspectives. So we need HR to increase what it is doing at that point in time to achieve better results at that time.
Okay, so how do you advise HR professionals to handle this subject and the issues of labor law policies being undermined by the employers to save cost, to cut corners, especially in owner-managed businesses.
Interestingly, the businesses in Nigeria, more than half are owner-managed,
Sure.
if not way higher, as the case is, are owner-managed. And sometimes, from our experience, one of the reasons why they appear to cut corners is they are not aware. They might be ignorant of what the law says, the implications of the law in those particular areas. So the first thing the HR community should actually do is to engage. Try and engage their leaders and say, look, this is what the law says. This is why the law says it is like this. And these are the penalties. Financial penalties, reputational penalties, if we do not follow through in this particular area. The second thing that perhaps we need to do at that point in time, because sometimes those owner managers focus on the bottom line. We need to survive. And one of the reasons for those corner cutting is cut cost of running business.
Yeah.
So the next thing you need to focus on is to get external help. Sometimes, if you find an external person to have a conversation with them, they see it better than when you're speaking to them directly. Bring them in the presence of other individuals, government establishment, other consultants, other communities that are speaking these things. They will begin to appreciate it. Give them case studies of organizations that are getting it well and see what they are getting in those particular areas. It might inspire them to want to do something. If all fails, take a walk.
Take a walk. If all fails, if all fails, pack your
Take a
bag.
walk, yes. If all fails and they do not comply, you won't be caught in an organization
That
where
is
there
not-
is wrong for it's a profession. You are against the code of HR. So at the end of the day, if you have done your part in those areas and it doesn't
And
work,
then just take a walk.
Okay, we're not taking it. It is getting more interesting. So we must take a break right now. When we return in a moment with our guest, the best and most sought after tips we have saved for the last. So make sure that you stay right there. We'll be back.
Thanks for staying tuned. The HR Godfather has been shaking some tables around here. And he continues with building a path to success, your 2025 playbook. Joel, our tables are really rocking this morning, and
Thank you.
no thanks to you. But let's continue the conversation because we're making progress in our understanding of what HR really is.
yeah.
Now you've given HR a real human face, and now we're beginning to see HR as a partner. But HR itself needs support. AI continues to revolutionize industries. How can organizations leverage AI-driven solutions to enhance productivity and achieve growth in 2025?
Okay. The thing about AI is that it's not new. It's been around for a while. It's just that some of us did not notice it initially. First, we started talking about data analytics, that data is the new oil, is the new oxygen. People should focus and use data. Today, AI is built on data.
Yeah.
Because whatever AI does, it is through the training it has been trained on data that has been captured and cleaned up that has been given to it.
Absolutely.
First generation AI we saw was the transformation in in industries. All those robots getting involved in manufacturing and things like that. Those were the first set we saw.
Yes.
And it came with some ills then, because as they introduced those automations, some of our people were asked to leave. Now it has left manufacturing and it has entered into intellectual work, as the case is. At this point in time, a lot of work people do in the office, right, can be automated through AI. And there are 1,001 AI applications today, and there's still more coming up at this point in time. We'll talk about 10x, 100x, 1,000x. Whatever you do, AI can do it 10 times, 100 times, 1,000 times. There are stories that in China, there are 2 companies in China that the CEO is AI.
The CEO sitting at
AI, and he's taking decisions and recommending this is the way you should go HR. Finance do it this way, operations this way, and they are doing well.
And I believe you, because these days, more and more these days, if you ask me to brush my teeth, I'll probably go. I'll first go to my chat GPT and say, if I brush to the left, show me how to brush correctly. And it's amazing.
Yeah, that's true.
And it's so interesting.
Now, how can organizations benefit from it in 2025? First, there is it for an audit. First, audit internally. What are your critical process areas within your organization? After that particular audit, look into the world to see what AI are already in place for those particular areas. Some cry that AI is going to replace humans. Not necessarily. It won't. However, AI is going to replace humans that don't understand AI.
Yeah, because they
will run the AI, they will prompt the AI, yes, they will give it guidance in which area to go.
And it will respond.
Yes, it will respond. It will give you additional suggestions beyond what you ask it to do. But at the end of the day, you need to take the decision on how to move. So if we are not prepared, which is the second thing our organizations need to do, or the third thing they need to do, is to prepare our people for AI. And preparation starts from the top, if possible, all the way to the board. Help them understand the value of AI. Help the leadership team to understand the powers behind AI. And because they need to back us up when we begin to implement it within the organization at that point in time. And then before you take it down to the employees, educate them on AI awareness, then educate them on skills specific to their functions and their area. Then you can deploy AI.
And resources.
Yes.
All right. Well, I see also it's a long journey. It is a long journey. As a data scientist now, how do you see data shaping decision-making and business success in this year that we just embraced?
Okay, so some of our people say that they don't use data. Interestingly, you notice that we belong to certain groups in WhatsApp, right? We belong to certain social media. And then there are some of those consultants or individuals who are making recommendations and saying things about trends, and we follow them. So they have done the data parts. And we are now at the receiving end of the end product of the data analysis. Well, it could have been better if we localize it within our own environment. An example in your organization, are there emerging markets? Are there emerging products in the market line that you're currently not doing? What does the data say? What are your competitors doing? Just find 5-10 competitors, gather some data from you, see where the trend is going. Then you can work internally at that point in time. Your internal departments also, how efficient and effective are they? Do an internal audit. Check, run data on the systems that you have. Look for where resources can be maximized, as the case is. Optimize those areas, and then you can manage costs properly. And then from there, you can then build skills accordingly.
I have a problem.
Yes, please.
I have a challenge. I'm thinking about old dogs and new tricks.
Yeah.
This is the tradition. This is how we do it. This is how we've done it. We've done it for 50 years and it hasn't failed us. Now, many organizations struggle with resistance to change. So what practical steps can leaders take to inspire, buy in, and implement transformation effectively? Because that's very important.
The thing is, some of these organizations that struggle with change are mostly led by individuals who are not necessarily the Gen Zs. So let me borrow from Grace. Borrow from Grace, because they come from an environment where there's a lot of rigidity. They come from an environment where there's a lot of CIA, KGB kind of moves. You are only giving information that you on a need-to-know basis. It is above your pay grade. You get to hear those kind of information. Yes, as the case is. But these are things that are anti-change. If you're going to be successful with change management within your organization, you must communicate freely. You must engage your team members, especially the employees, get their buy-in early at the beginning. Let them understand where you're going with that particular vision. Let them understand that the current way we are working is no longer working. Give them data, give them information, give them examples why we are failing the way we are, and show them where the future is. And you know, sometimes when we resist change, it's because we are scared.
Of failure.
Yes. How will it affect me? What if, so to speak? If you don't provide those answers at the beginning for those individuals, they will resist it. And I'm not just talking about talking to your employees one-on-one. Well, it is fine if you relate to everybody one-on-one, but you still have to relate to other groups, manager groups, focus groups, executives, and things like that. You need to carry all of them along at that point in time. Then beyond communication, leadership by example. You need to change. Show them that you've changed as leaders within the organization. If they see that the executive team, the managerial team are already in the mode of the new way you've spoken about, the rest people will gradually follow them along that line.
I agree with you.
Yes.
So old dogs can still learn
Oh, they
new
can.
tricks.
They can.
They need to learn.
They can.
The followers can also maximize those benefits. Okay, now on an individual level, what steps should professionals take to stay relevant and excel in a rapidly changing business landscape? Grace was talking about growing the SME because they are very relevant to the economy. Okay. So let's look at the individual level.
Okay. You know, usually individual is based on your appetite. You can't drag a camel or a horse to the stream and force it to drink.
A horse.
Or a horse, right? You can't drag a horse to the stream and force it to drink. Again, first it depends on your appetite. How passionate are you for what you want to achieve? So that passion, that drive, that energy, that desire, I need to make this happen, should resonate. And once that resonates, then clarity of whatever goals you set, the things you've set at that point in time will help. Above all, invest in yourself. Sometimes we wait for the organization to run training programs for us, but it's never enough. And it doesn't go around. How many persons can you train in an organization? If you have 1,000 workforce within your organization, how many really are trained? And if you check the numbers, for how long? 1 day, max 2 days? How can 2 days of training be sufficient for 365 days of work? So it's not possible. So it's up to you to take ownership. Look at which areas you need to develop yourself. In any profession you are in, there are certifications, there are courses, there are things like that you can access. And today, a lot of them are online. All right? So assess those things. Build yourself. Be the person in the room that knows one thing more than others, that has one skill more than others, especially in the area where your goals for 2025 are. And then you continue to advance in those particular areas. And finally, network. You can't do it alone. All right? Whatever you have today was given to you by somebody. And whatever you're going to be or get tomorrow is dependent on the network that you have. And I tell everyone that you have a network of 250 people, but you don't know. They are ready. They are waiting to help you. 250 individuals